Welcome back to Run It Back Season 2. I'm Josh Barnett with my co-host Mateen Cleaves. Mateen, how you doing?
Yes, sir. If you're trying to win, tap in. It's
That's
all good over here, baby.
that's how we started, man. We got a special one today. This one I'm really excited for. I know we say that on every episode, but truly it's an honor to have this guy on. Today we're going to be talking to UNLV Running Rebels legend, 1990 MOP Anderson Hunt. Anderson, thanks for joining us, man.
Oh man, thanks for having me, man. I should have been on before then. But yeah, no problem, man. Hey, it's a pleasure, man. Once I talked to McLean about it, Mateen, it was shit. It was already a no-brainer.
Yeah, I know that we were talking, Mateen and I were talking a little bit off camera about how hyped we were for this one. When we get started with these, we always like to take it back to people's origin story, you know, and their upbringing and kind of how they found basketball. You're a Detroit guy. Can you speak a little bit about the Detroit basketball culture and what kind of sucked you into the game?
It's crazy because I started playing baseball. I was a baseball player. And once I got into basketball in 82, 83, when I seen Flint Central and Southwestern play, I was like, whoa. And then my high school team, we wasn't good in baseball. So that was a no-brainer as well. I had to switch over. And as far as growing up in Detroit, man, you know, Detroit, Flint, you know, they basically the same. Detroit bigger than Flint, but we still got the same people in it, you know. But, you know, it was hard coming up in Southwest Detroit, you know. You had the drugs, alcohol, but then you had the people that was doing good, you know, the big three workers, you know, guys like that, you know. But other than that, man, Detroit made me humble, you know, the person I am today.
And can you hit a little bit on it, man, drugs and all that kind of stuff. But if you was a hooper, you got to pass. You know what I mean? Like you got to pass. And then you had a lot of people, because like I know in Detroit for a fact, like when you one of the top basketball players, man, the neighborhood take care of you. The guys that's not doing quite the most honest stuff doing.
Right. The hustlers.
They take care. Yeah, the hustlers. They making sure you got a pocket full of money. So talk a little bit about that. How cool it is to be that guy in Detroit.
Man, I was thankful because I grew up with Big Meech and Terry.
Yeah.
So
BMF.
BMF. So, you know, I grew up around all that. And then, you know, they told me, man, you got a chance to do this. You know, so don't do this. You know, but we young and hard-headed, everybody hanging out, you know, and then what you said, everybody giving you money. Sometimes you want your own money in your pocket. So, you know, I might have ventured off a little bit, but other than that, my family and my friends, like you say, my friends really was like, bro, don't even think about doing this. We did this. You see us doing it. And the chances and all that we taking. So, man, go hoop. Go on out to Vegas and hoop.
High school games, whole neighborhood there.
Man, high school, Cobo Hall, UAD, Joe Lewis, you know, everybody there. Everybody betting, everybody talking junk, you know, sometimes might fight, might break out, but, you know, all in all, great. I wouldn't grew up nowhere else in the world.
We have something coming up, Anderson, with St. Cecilia's and a reverberation, and some neat projects coming up with them on the 99 side. Can you speak a little bit about what makes the Saint so special in the Detroit area?
It's the Saint, man. That just that word when you say the Saint, and if you say you from Detroit and don't know about the Saint, you're not from Detroit. You know, matter of fact, for Michigan, everybody from Michigan know about the Saint, and everybody in the country know about the Saint. So it was epic games up in there, no air conditioning. Man, it was rough, you know, but you know, like I say, it made you tougher.
Right. And the Saint, like, and even I know when you came up, like a lot of it was like pros, like it was cats that played in the NBA that would come back there and get dealt
down.
with.
Get down with the hood cats. So, you know, that was a good thing. Now, since it's closed, it's hard, but I hope they open it back up to do something basketball-wise, some charity, some type of function.
Yeah, you know? And I know the Saint, and you played a lot at the Saint, and I want to hit a little bit on, because we had Tim Thomas on, and they was talking about their AAU team and all the top players that was on their AAU team.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all had a squad like Steve Smith, Doug Smith, was it
Mark Macon.
Mark
Mark
Macon,
Macon.
Victor Alexander, Mark Shaking Bacon, Mark Macon. Like,
Yes, my man.
that was your AAU team.
Yeah, yeah. We won the national championship down in Jacksonville. Yeah, we beat Rick Fox, Jay Edwards, and Lyndon Jones, Indiana team.
Indiana
Blew them out by 20.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a nice squad.
He said that all like blew them out by 20. Yeah, we had a nice squad.
Yeah. That's matter of fact, Mateen, that's when I first met Bobby Hurley.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Talk
we played
about
New
that.
Jersey. And we going into our freshman year in college. I think he was going into his junior year in high school, and he was getting all the hype and I'm like, who is this little cat?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when we played him, man, I was all up in his face. I was threatening him. I was man, at the end of the game, he said, man, I thought you was crazy. That's when I first met Bobby. And from then on, I was like, man, every time I go up against this cat, I'm gonna try to, do my thing and take him out his game.
Yeah. But did he earn your respect when you went at him?
Matter of fact, he ain't earned my respect until he hit that jumper on me in '91 in the Final Four.
Hey, we will get there. We'll get
I was
there.
telling my partner, I was
there.
like, man, I remember that jumper, man. We was playing in the amoeba, and he was deep, and he hit that jumper right in front of my face. I said, wow, yeah, that was a big 3-pointer.
Yeah.
Can we take it back to Detroit Southwestern High School for a minute? Because you played for a legend in Perry Watson there. Can you talk about your experience, high school experience playing under such a legendary high school coach?
Yeah, man. You know what? Me and my partners talk about this a lot, man. We had it was like a farm team. We had people coming from the east side, west side. Only me and like 3 other players were supposed to go to Southwestern. A lot of people didn't know that. That was my area, so I had to go to Southwestern. A lot of kids transferred over, so Southwestern, man, they tore it down. Now I rode past there about 2 weeks ago, and it was half up, and a tear wanted to come out of my eye. I was like, wow, a lot of memories gone.
Mm-hmm. And like far as at Southwestern, man, like even the PSL back then, like you had like 4 or 5 maybe the top teams in the state, in the city of Detroit, right there.
Yeah.
Talk about some of those battles and how real that basketball was.
Hey, man, playing against Doug Smith and McKenzie, playing against Cooley, Mike Talley, and Daniel Lighton and them cats. Matter of fact, they was younger than me, but who I could say?
You had Steve at Persian, right?
Steve at Persian. Who else
Steve
we had?
Smith.
We had Carl Brown at Renaissance. A lot of people don't remember him. Little bitty dude. I mean, shake and bake. I mean, I hated playing against him. He gave me 25 every time we played against him. So we had some night. We had Big Vic. We had Doug Smith. And a lot of people didn't realize we had Johnny Woodson. He played with McKenzie, with Doug Smith. We used to call him, they used to call him, I didn't call him that. They call him Crazy Wood. But he could flat out play about 6'5", shoot a jumper, jump out the gym, nice pull up. He could play. And,
so it's a lot of cats, and I mean to cut you off there. So it's a lot of cats that people have never even heard of that was out of Detroit that'll give you straight buckets.
Yes, but like you from Flint, so you might go in the gym, be like, dang, one of your homeboys from out of town be like, who is that? Oh, that's my boy. He dropped out in 9th grade. You know what I'm saying? He dropped out of school in 9th grade, or he went to jail in 10th grade, but he was supposed to go to Michigan. He could have went here. Man, there's so many people like that in the D.
Yeah.
Flint too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you a story too.
Oh, yep.
When I left to go to school, I'm out in Vegas, and my homeboys was like, man, they kept saying Mateen Cleaves. I'm like, man, who y'all talking about, man? It's like, man, that boy can play. And these my homeboys from Southwest, from my hood.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, but I was in Vegas, so I didn't catch no games. You in high school, so my first time seeing you play was at State. Then I was like, okay, all right, my boys know what they talking about. Y'all had a good squad too.
We did, man. But that just made my day, man. I respect you so much and look up to you so much. And for you to say that, man, you just made my day. I appreciate that, OG.
No, that's real talk, though.
Yes, sir.
Real talk.
Yeah.
Anderson, coming out of Detroit Southwestern, how long did you know that you wanted to go to UNLV? Were there other schools involved? Obviously, with the talent that you were, I'm sure there was, but explain to us the decision to go to UNLV from Detroit.
Ninth grade, I'm watching UNLV Georgetown. And that's when Georgetown had Ewing, Reggie Williams, Wingate, they #1 in the country.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah, they had, they had a bunch of boys. And I'm like, who is these cats running with them? They had the fireworks, the crowd going crazy, and they winning the game too. But Georgetown won. But I'm like, who are these cats? And then Freddie Banks is shoot got the green light. So I'm like, I'm going there. And it's crazy, Mateen, because your high school coach, they don't want you to tell, tell the coaches you want to go there so bad so they can get whatever they want to get. And man, Coach Perry used to always get into it. He's like, man, calm down. We don't want them to know you want to go there that bad. So I'm like, all right, coach, I want to sign. Well, I'm ready to sign. So when I first talked to Tark, my senior year, I was ready to sign. I think it was like 2 days before school started. And Perry came and picked me up, took me up to Southwestern. He's like, man, write down 5 schools you want me to get in contact with. So I had DePaul, Iowa, Ohio State. And I think I had Oklahoma and I had Vegas. And Perry was like, oh, let me call my man right there. Called Tark right up. It's like, Tark, remember you told me when I had a Vegas type player to call you? He said, I got one. And Tark was like, oh yeah, well, let's go. Yeah, let's talk. I'm gonna send him something. And that was it. I talked to him for a minute and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna start sending you some letters. I'm gonna send somebody out there to check you out. And he sent Mark Workington, who just passed away. Rest in peace. Mark Workington. And I sent Mark. And Mark called back right in front of me. He was like, yeah, Vegas type player. So, and that was it. And then coach really still didn't have no confidence in me until I got out here. The first week I had to play against Gary Graham, went to Baltimore Dunbar. He played with Reggie Williams, Muggsy. He played with all of them. Reggie
They was like #1 in the country back then,
yes,
right?
Yes, that's one of the best high school teams ever.
Yeah.
Right. Documentaries on them and stuff.
Yeah, Tark made me play Gary Graham, who was tough, hard-nosed Baltimore guy, about 6'4". I'm 6'1". I'm playing Gary one-on-one at the Sporting House at 8 in the morning. Back-to-back games. We going at each other. So Gary was like, at the end of us playing, Gary was like this, told Tark like that. Like, yeah, gave him the thumbs up. So that was, Tark was a mug, rest in peace. If he ain't had no confidence in you, you wasn't gonna play.
Wow. So that was your freshman year?
Yeah, matter of fact, that was my prop 48 year because I ain't played my freshman year.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then, you didn't even take a visit to UNLV.
No, I took a visit.
You took a visit before you said you were going?
Yeah, well, I set up the visit, and man, I had a ball. It was senior night. I'm like, man, where I sign that? And Perry was like, man, don't sign nothing yet. I'm like, oh man, I'm ready to sign and get my bag. You know what I'm saying? I want my bag. I want my bag of gear. I want everything that I want.
Right.
I want it now. So yeah, that was crazy. I had fun though.
That's what's up.
Anderson, you had a extremely successful freshman year, averaging 12 points and 4 assists. Transitioning from high school, and then you talked about being a prop 48 and then having that year and then getting into the game. What was the toughest transition for you, high school, prop 48, to then actually playing your technically your freshman year, first year?
The classes. The basketball wasn't no problem because Coach Tark used to always use me as an example. Being from Detroit Southwestern, we played defense, got up and down. So Coach Tark's like, Anderson, come show him this, come show him that. You know what I'm saying? So either me or Greg or both sometimes. But, that was classes was the hardest for me because I ain't have my mom's there. Get up and go to class. You know what I'm saying? So that was the most hardest transition for me.
Yeah. So how was like, because I always like to ask this question, as far as Tark recruiting you, and then as far as Tark coaching you, because recruiting you, they telling you all the good stuff. They telling you everything you want to hear, to be honest. And then as far as coaching you, how was that transition when you got there? When you got there at UNLV?
One of his recruiting tools was we don't get on the bus to go nowhere. We fly everywhere. That's
Wow.
he said we fly everywhere. Every time we getting on the buses from the airport to the hotel and the hotel to the game. You know what I'm saying? But Tark, man, if you didn't play defense or go to class, you wouldn't go play. Simple. I had a partner, Barry Young, from Ellicott City, Maryland, outside of Bmore. Maryland leading scorer in Maryland history. About 6'7", 215, 220. He used to test Stacey up in practice. I mean, kill ice. I mean, give him the business, but he didn't play no D.
Yeah.
He played in the national championship game. He hit a 3 and a short jumper. And I don't think he played no more. But yeah, my boy Barry used to miss a lot of defensive assignments. But as far as scoring, he could do it. But Tark, man, if you didn't play defense, it was a wrap.
So, and that's crazy because the way y'all play, like people think like, because y'all scored so many points, like if you could score, then you was going to play. But you say it was a total opposite.
Yeah, total opposite, because Stace, he played defense and worked on his offensive game. And Barry didn't play no defense and worked on his, and just didn't work on, he ain't work on his offensive game because he already had all the skill. Right. Barry told me, we came in together. Barry told me, he said, man, I ain't going to class. I'm going to the league. So I said, bro, I'm about to go to class. I'll see you after class. And while you playing, Barry flunked out in 91. After the championship, he ain't go back to school no more. And he ain't play with us in 91. Yep.
Wow.
That was one less person we ain't have. And then O'Bannon and Tarver, they went to UCLA. So we would have had them two. We'd have had Barry. So we still could have went back to back though.
Wow.
So
go ahead, John.
How valuable was the experience you guys gained in 89 leading into 90, going to the Elite Eight? I believe you guys got beat by Seton Hall in the tournament, but you made it to the Elite Eight. How much were you able to draw back? Because Mateen and I talk a lot about that, or I always ask Mateen about that, the experience of getting close the year before, finally breaking through. How valuable was it to you?
Great question. Because I tell people this today. When Seton Hall whooped on us in 89, everybody was sick. I mean, we was mad. We was, to be truthful with you, after we beat Arizona when they was number 1 in this, what's that, Sweet 16?
Yeah.
With Sean Elliott and them, that was our Final Four. We partied. Man, I think I hit my first cheerleader after that game. After I hit that shot. Yeah, but man, it was a blessing and a curse because when you go to this Elite Eight, you get to try on your ring, your Final Four ring, and we was trying, I'm getting my ring on this finger. I'm getting my ring on this finger. And man, Seton Hall whooped our ass.
Yeah. So y'all wasn't
Seton Hall team.
Yeah.
Good Seton Hall team.
Good Seton Hall team. Man, they was deep. Man, they was well coached and they had seniors. Man, they had a good team.
And guards had a solid big.
They had the whole package. You know what I'm saying? We was still young. 8 of our 9 players that played was new first year. And 4 of them was junior college players. So, man, but Seton Hall put a whooping on us. And then they lost to Michigan in the championship.
Yeah, Glenn Rice. Yep. That magical run he had that year.
Yep.
Yeah, buddy. So y'all lose that. So what's that summer like? Y'all come back, y'all locked in or what? What's the game plan?
You know what, man? After we lose that, everybody go home for the summer. I think everybody stayed for a couple of weeks or a month and then went home, but everybody was locked in. It's like, man, we ain't like this feeling, but we knew how close we were and we could get back there. And then the next year we got L. So, it was like sky's the limit now.
That's what I was going to lead into was when LJ shows up on campus, how quickly did you guys realize that this guy could have been the missing piece from the year before?
No, once he signed with us.
After, knew it already.
In junior college, once he signed and we knew he was coming, we was like, oh, man, that's all we need. Look out or look out.
Yeah.
Flat out.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. So when he got there, and I know y'all heard about him. So when he actually get on campus, y'all hooping. What's going through your head after you see him up close and personal?
Hey man, I'm gonna tell you a story, Mateen. We playing pickup games. Before the season, we playing pickup game. Everybody come back in shape. I'm in shape. I'm windmilling. I'm 360. I'm doing all types. So we playing. We on opposite teams. I go up to get a rebound. I'm up high. Man, leg come and bump my shoulder and grab the rebound. Man, I'm like, oh man. I had to go in the training room. I'm in the training room with the ice on my shoulder. And L come in. He say, bro, he said, you all right, little fella? I said, yeah, man, I'm glad you're on our side. For real, man. Hey, man, he just barely touched me. And my shoulder was hurting for like a week. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, bro, I'm glad you're on our side, man.
He out there built like a football player.
4% body fat.
Ooh.
You know, it was crazy, man. It was crazy.
Yeah. I think a lot of people forget that 90 UNLV team lost 5 games, including the loss to UC Santa Barbara. So like historically, when people think back to 1990, they think back to Duke and the blowout. But you guys actually lost 5 games. When did it click for you guys where you were like, okay, nobody's fucking with us from here on out?
When Dave and Moses came back, because they was ineligible for the beginning of the year. I think we lost to Kansas, and we lost to a couple of teams before they got there. But then we lost 2 or 3 games while they're there. But once they came back, it was like the games was much easier. I hated practice. You know, when we played in the game, it was like, thank God we get to beat up on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I hated practice. But, you know, mostly players do. But, man, we had our practices was like white stuff coming out your mouth. You know, when all that just start coming. Oh, man, it was terrible.
So the game was easier than practice.
What? Man, stop it, Mateen. I'm telling you, we hated practice because it was so much competition, you know, and everybody is basically got the same skill, trying to get on the court. And you know, we beat up each other in practice, but in the games, man, we giving high fives to each other, we hugging each other. Like, man, I'm glad I ain't beating you up today. You know, I'll see you next week, man, in practice. But yeah, hey, man, I wouldn't change that for nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
So every time 99 launches a new piece of 1990 UNLV apparel, literally every time we'll get a comment about the Ball State game in the tournament. It was a 69-67 win for UNLV, but nobody ever lets us forget that Ball State was closest to beating you guys than anybody else. Do you remember anything particular about the Ball State game?
Man, you know what? I remember I had 2 points. I had a little broad down there from LA, and I ain't had no legs. So that's what I remember. I'm just glad we won because they would have blamed that on me.
Maybe it was your 2 points that made the difference at the end, though. You only won by 2, so you can always say that.
Exactly. So yeah, and then they had a chance to win too, Josh. They threw the ball away. Yeah, they had a chance to win, and they threw the ball away. So you know, it was cool.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
but that's the thing too, and we hit a little bit on it earlier. Like nobody remember the games you lost. Nobody don't care about that. They only remember you cutting the net down. You know, exactly. So that's the beautiful thing about winning it all. Nobody can tell you unless they just follow like crazy. Nobody can tell you the games y'all lost. They remember y'all winning that championship though, right?
Right. Who y'all lose to when y'all won the championship?
We lost a few. We actually lost to Wright State that year. I was hurt.
Wow.
I broke my foot at the beginning of the season, so we lose to Wright State at the beginning of right before the Big Ten started. Then I came back. But we lost to Ohio State, and that's when Coach Izzo, we lost to a couple teams, and it tightened us up. You know, I think we lost to Indiana, was the last team we lost to. A.J. Guyton was a hell of a player. Yeah. We lost to them, and that was it. We won a couple more Big Ten games, went through our conference tournament, and then ran through cats in the tournament. Yeah.
Hey, so I got to respect you too, man. I couldn't have played in the Big Ten. Big Ten our practice was like the Big Ten, so I hated it. So we, you know, banging in practice. Big Ten, you know, you bang at half court. You might run fast break a couple of times, but you banging. You know? Big East and the Big Ten was banging conferences.
Yeah, and you wanted to get up and down.
What? I did. I tell you this. I told Frieda. He said, Anderson, we go start recruiting you. We will get in late. I say, no, don't worry about it, coach.
Now, Bill Frieda, for you guys, that's Michigan's coach at the time.
Yeah. Before Steve Fisher took over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, don't worry about it, coach. Don't even waste your letters. And plus, they were stacked. They were stacked, man. They had my man, Demetrius Caleb.
From Flint Northern.
Yeah, he could play.
Yeah, he barely played.
Exactly. I had to think about that. I was like, damn, me and Demetrius, we about equal. So he not getting no time like that. So I'm not even thinking about going up there. For real.
Yeah. So Mateen and I had the pleasure of having Kenny Anderson on a couple shows ago. And you guys ran into Georgia Tech and their lethal weapon three of him, Brian Oliver, and Dennis Scott. So there's a quote in that pod that I want to ask you about because we get to get it from the other side, which is always fun too.
I want to hear what you got to
say. Dennis Scott says after Kenny Anderson got in foul trouble and Bobby Crimmins pulled him out with 4 fouls in the second half. Had he trusted Kenny Anderson to stay in the game and not pick up his 5th foul, Georgia Tech would have a national championship right now, which would then in turn mean that UNLV would not. Your thoughts?
D. Scott, stop it. Stop it. Kenny Anderson was a freshman. We playing in the Final Four. Coaches don't give too many freshmen that authority to do that. Everybody want to stay in the game and play, but what about that little ticky-tack foul you get? You know what I'm saying? So coach did the right thing, but it didn't make a difference. I don't care what you say, D. Scott. It wouldn't have made a difference. What about that second half run we did?
Hey, I didn't mean to start any bad blood. I had to ask the question, though.
They was winning, though. They was winning. I'll give them that. D. Scott he was shooting from deep, but they just didn't have enough. Hey, it was lethal weapon 3. We had a whole squad. D.
Yes,
Scott,
sir.
I'm from the D, man. I'm gonna talk a little trash.
Yes, sir. We love it.
Man.
So you guys get past the Final Four, you get past Georgia Tech with that second half comeback, and then everybody knows what happens, or everybody remembers what happens with the 30-point blowout of Duke in the national championship. That game, would you say that was the best game that you guys played all year, or was it more of just everything kind of clicked at the right time and Duke was off too, and that helped? But could you sense how well you guys were playing in that game? Was it one of the better games that you guys put together as a whole for that season?
You know what? Mateen can contest to this. When you playing a team and you see that they tired or they heart is getting taken, you pounce on that. And we seen that. And one thing was LJ hit a couple of threes at the top of the key, which opened up the game for us, which he ain't do in 91. But in 90, he hit a couple of threes that opened up the game. We was already up 10, but that just opened up the game even more. And then once we started running, we started looking. It was like 3 of their players in the backcourt, and all 5 of us is coming back this way. So it was 5-on-2, 3-on-1. So, we was, man, Duke ain't have a chance. And plus, we was locked in from the year before, which helped us, So they ain't have a chance that first year.
And that's crazy because I remember watching. I'm in elementary watching that game. Like, I'm
a kid, man, and that's up.
Old. I want to make you feel old, but I gotta let you know, man. Like that was one of the games that like changed my life. Watching y'all. I mean, y'all are my all-time favorite team ever. UNLV 90. I'm telling you, yeah, for sure. And that game, I mean, the style y'all played with, the defense, I mean, the alley-oops, the threes, I mean, the flair that you guys carried, and I'm from Flint, Michigan, man. We were a long way from Vegas, and you know what I mean? So y'all made Las Vegas cool in Michigan, and even like, I'm from a neighborhood where you wear all blue. You don't wear red. It's buzz and crap. So now I've got my UNLV hat, and I got to sneak through the neighborhood.
Right.
I had to explain myself every time. And you know what I mean? Because I was rocking at UNLV. But, man, that game was amazing, man. Y'all made And UNLV had a good run, and people knew who they were. But I think like that Final Four in that national championship, like really, really, really put UNLV on a whole different level.
And then playing against Duke.
Right.
A lot of people didn't expect that. Matter of fact, we didn't expect to win by 30. We knew we could win, but we didn't know we was gonna win by 30. But once you start seeing players not getting across half court, that's where you run more. We like keep it moving. We go keep it moving, man.
Right.
Flat out.
So it's been 30 years since then, and we have to mention that you, and I mentioned it earlier, were the MOP most outstanding player of the 1990 Final Four.
That part.
Which is incredible.
That's a trivia question, y'all.
We had some
bad boys in that Final Four.
For sure.
Yeah.
What do both of those accomplishments now mean to you, looking back 30 years? The national championship, obviously, but also the MOP.
Well, it's still sometimes, a lot of people come up to me and bring it up, so that makes me feel good. But, not being a part of the, UNLV program like I should. I went to the game the other day. They showed me love, but still, it's not the same. It's like they're trying to, get rid of all the history from Tark. You know what I'm saying? So really, I don't know. I got mixed emotions about that. I love it. It's been 30 years. They still show me love, but how the university did Tark and all that, it was, it's still a little bitterness.
Yeah, I wanted to lean into that a little bit because when you guys come back for 91, doesn't seem you have a NCAA target on your back. Can you speak a little bit about that, and if that was used as motivation, or was it more of a distraction, or was it a little bit of both?
It was a little bit of both. We was kids. We young kids, and NCAA come to talk to you about this and that. Like, bro, what is y'all wasting y'all time for? We not snitching. Go on down somewhere else, man. Go down south. Go to the SEC, the most crookedest conference in America. Go down there and ask some questions. But that made us stronger, but the slip up we had was, I think, Duke, they got better, but we stayed like this. Duke got better. And Brian Davis, he told me, I kicked it with him a couple of years ago. He said, man, we watch film of y'all every day. I'm like, what? I'm like, y'all got North Carolina in y'all conference. Y'all got State in y'all conference. Where's y'all watching video of us from, man? We watch video of y'all every day. I said, man, I didn't watch not one video of y'all.
Wow.
For real. And then we wasn't expecting to play them again. They sent Duke out west. A lot of people didn't realize that. How you saying a team that's been playing in the East for years, East Rutherford, New Jersey, Duke is coming out of East. But I don't know. They sent them out, our way. But still, man, we still should have won. A couple of our players hung out all night, no legs, worrying about where they going in the lottery, all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't, we wasn't as hungry as we was the year before.
And do you think like maybe being so good over those couple years caught up with y'all? Because maybe cats could hang out and party and y'all still was good enough to beat most of the teams.
Yeah, we could have got away with it if we was playing anybody else except Duke. They had their revenge factor and they was locked and focused in. I guess they was us from Seton Hall. Right. We had just beat them by 30. Seton Hall had beat us by 20. So it was like the roles was reversed. Me personally, I feel we still should have won. Like I told my man LJ, bro, you should have shot that ball. You're the number one player on the number one team. You missed the shot, ain't nothing, it's good. I missed the shot, I threw the game. I got three people draped on. I got Bobby Hurley on my knee. I got Christian Layton on my wrist, but I threw the game. Yeah. After my man passed the ball to me. I watched some of that play the other day. I'm like, man, he got the ball on the wing. Only thing he got to do is go to the hole or pull up. Like I told him, I said, you could have did anything but that.
Hey, I have a confession, Anderson. I watched that game the other night too. No lie. maybe last weekend, I think. I was like, you know what? I need to throw on this UNLV Duke game and watch this thing again. And about halfway through it, I called my son in, and it was to watch your release. I'm like, watch this little number 12's release here. You see that release, that is textbook. You see that arc, that is textbook. You see that rotation, that is textbook. You see the result, that is what we want.
And you another thing, fellas, I was locked and loaded both years. I wasn't worrying about I was wanting to go back to back, but I had my whole family down there. I ain't hang out. This is like one of the years I didn't hang out in 91. So I was locked and loaded. And then for you to come in breakfast and people coming in from the night before and the team breakfast, I'm like, oh man.
It's gonna be tight.
It's gonna be tight, you know. And then my man was a freshman, Grant Hill. And my man Stacey Augmon, I think he overlooked him or something. I don't know. I ain't asked Ice that, but my man Stacey, I don't think he had double digits. He had no legs.
Yeah, he struggled. He struggled.
My man struggled.
Couple more questions on the 91 team. And then we'll progress it a little bit. I have to know, your guy off camera is wearing a Gucci Rose shirt, which I noticed when he was messing with your microphone. I know that you guys were celebrities coming off that 90 national championship, but you got to play in front of Gucci Rose. I have to know what that experience was like.
Man, it's like you at an NBA game. You might see Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson. It was a Diane Carroll. Man, it was a bunch of Bill Cosby. You know, a bunch of cats came, you know, watch us play.
In college.
Yeah, college, man. Gucci Row. That's what they call it, Gucci Row. You know, ain't no telling who you might see that day. You know, we had Siegfried and Roy. They used to come to the games. Who else? It's a lot of people, man.
So in Las Vegas, okay, with all this going on, casinos, clubs, parties, all this going on, y'all was the thing to come see.
Yes.
Y'all was the main event.
You know, we ain't had no pro squad.
Yeah.
You know, we was the only ticket in town. We had a semi-pro baseball team, but we was the only ticket in town, you know, for years and years. Now we have the Raiders, but UNLV not that good this year, you know, but still, it's still UNLV fans all over. You know, I wish they get back up top. I ain't gonna lie to you. They look good, we look good.
We're gonna be out there next month. We're gonna go over the Thomas Mack and take in a game. So that'll be our first UNLV game.
Okay, let me know.
I'm excited for it. Yeah, for sure will. There's another great story with the 91 team. We had Coach Nolan Richardson on last season.
Coach, yeah.
And we were talking about 40 Minutes of Hell and how he built that program. And he referenced the game against you guys. And I think it was 1 versus 2 during the regular season. And at some point, Larry Johnson walks over to him, looks at him, says, "Coach, you better get some men in here." Right? Like, if you're gonna play with us, you better recruit some men.
He told him that. True story. Story. Yeah.
So the follow-up to that is, how much shit did you guys actually talk on the court out there, and was everybody free game?
A lot. A lot of people know we had 1, 2, 3, like 3 or 4 fights that year. A lot of people didn't know. They just knew about the Utah State fight. That's all they knew. We was about to fight Loyola Marymount. Who else we was about to fight? A lot of people in the tunnel, going to the tunnel. Man, I'll tell you a story about Hank Giles and Bo Kimball. Hank, rest in peace. Yeah. First game, we played them twice that year. We played them in preseason and our tournament. And they getting out on us. I mean, they winning. And somebody called in a bomb threat. I guess they had that money on the game, and we had to stop the game and go in the locker room. And we came back out. Man, we ran them boys. But it's stuff like that you remember. And Bo Kimball, he was talking so much, man. And I remember one play. Hank Giles threw Larry Johnson sitting in 3rd row. It was like, man, this ain't junior college, man. Get that shit out of here. And L didn't say nothing. And I'm looking, and you know, I'm from the D. I said, man, fuck him, L, fuck him, man. You know, I'm talking to Hank. I'm all up in Hank's face, man. It was fuck about you, man. I'm from the D. You know what I'm saying? And Hank was like, man, shut your little ass up before I fuck you up. I'm like, nah, I ain't worried about you or him, pointing that boat. And then they kind of got sandwiched me. I was like, man, I'm not worried about that. That's when my boy L, Stace, and everybody surrounded them. So, man, stop. We was ready for anybody.
It goes down after that.
What? On the court and off the court. Y'all not winning neither fight. And a lot of people knew that, though, you know?
I love it. But see, that's when it was real. Like now, no disrespect to none of these kids now. It's a little commercial. Back then, it was real. Respect was earned, baby. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't giving it. So I'm glad you kind of telling that story because it was real out there. And then everybody was trying to come knock off the top dogs.
Yeah. Hey, man, when you number one in the country for a year and a half and, you know, you traveling, you rock stars, man, we had a ball. I wouldn't have been to no other school in America, you know? And then I tell a lot of people, it's like, oh, man, we had this, we had broads. I said, man, it used to be broads at LAX at the baggage claim waiting for us to come. I ain't talking about the hotel lobby. I'm talking about baggage claim at the airport.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, it was like that. And Tark, it was so bad that Tark used to make us, we couldn't jump in the car with them and ride because we might not even go to the hotel and check in. He used to make us ride to the hotel on the bus. And then once you check in, you can go where you want to. Yep. My man, Tark, that was the best coach, man. Wow.
Hey, yeah. I need you to settle something for me. So I helped Slam Magazine come up with a list of the top 50 teams of all time in this issue that came out a couple Marches ago. And everybody wanted to put, you guys ended up number 8. Okay. 1991 ended up number 8. Everybody wanted to put 1990 UNLV in there. And I told them, no, the 91 team was better than the 1990 team. No. Settle that for me, please. Did I get it right? 91, did I get it wrong?
91 team couldn't hold our jocks, and I played on 91 team. We was more tougher.
In 90.
90.
So the 90 team is better than 91. So we got it wrong.
Dave Butler and Mo Scurry was the nastiest two. I mean, I seen Mo Scurry spit in Stephen Howard's face for DePaul. Yeah, and Stephen Howard didn't do nothing. I was like, man, you ain't gonna do nothing, but he already knew. You try to do something, you might get hit instead of spit on. Oh yeah, Josh, 1990 team.
You got it, man. I was wrong. I stand corrected. I know now.
Yeah, I'm a little agitated at that list. I gotta look at that.
I seen you know, I ain't see y'all up there, Mateen.
Yeah, no,
you're in there. He's in there.
Oh, okay. I ain't see. Okay.
They're in there.
I don't even worry about being in the conversation, but 90 should be higher than 8, in my opinion.
Well, hey, Mateen, now don't come at me. Now, hey, it's a conglomerated list. It pulled from a lot of different. I was just one part of it. Yeah. You don't know where I had them on my list, but I had them very high. Okay,
I ain't at you. I'm mad at the list.
Hey, and that's what we do this for, because it sells copies, right? It's talkable, it's debatable, and
oh yeah. Yeah. What's that 82 Georgetown? I mean 82 Carolina team. What they rank?
82.
They were. Well, I have to take a look here.
Yeah, that was a squad.
They were number 4.
4? Dang.
Yeah, they were 4.
You were in it, so I don't know if you understood the impact. But when I look at the Fab Five, you know, in particular, I'm like, that started UNLV at, you know, UNLV 90, like the like more the shorts or the swag, you know. And I know you had 2 D boys out there and J Rose and C Webb and like that swag. When you look at it, even now, sitting back, do you look back like, wow, man, we influenced a lot of people, man, with this basketball.
Oh yeah, man, because J Rose and Jimmy, they tell me all the time, man, we looked up to y'all. We wanted to be y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's an honor, you know, especially for my little bros, because me and Jay still cool. Me and Jimmy still cool. I got their numbers, they got mine. So that's, hey, man, that's an honor when somebody say that. For real. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And after the 91 game, you declare for the NBA, if college athletics was set up the way it is now back then with NIL and everything, How does that change the dynamic of your decision? How does that change the dynamic of maybe that team? Do more people come back? What does it look like?
Yeah, but NILs now, they making so much money. I probably wouldn't even want to go to the pros. You know, because nowadays these cats is making that dough. You know, they said some offensive lineman make 100,000 for in college. Like what? Like wow, yeah, man, it's
I'm
crazy.
hearing millions for some of the quarterbacks, and yeah, it's crazy.
They said my man Leaky Black for North Carolina, he do some type of commercial down there.
They got all type of the game has changed.
Yeah,
can you imagine? What do you think? Like if y'all had the NIL deal out of Vegas, like what? How much money would y'all would have made?
Hey man, we was getting dough, but we wasn't getting legal dough. You know what I'm saying? We get that booster dough and all that, but we was good. But the NIL that would have took us over, man. Instead of having Beamers and vets, we'd have had Ferraris and Lambos out in the parking lot. Yeah, because all the coaches in our league, they say, "Oh, every time we go to the parking lot, it's like we putting up to NBA arena." So what?
Right.
So what? We got drop top BMWs, we got vets, we got Celines, piped out Celines. You know what I'm saying? We got Blazers, all that, Suburbans.
So this what winning look like.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? At a high level.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So as we kind of wind down here, we want to know what Anderson Hunt is up to these days. Still attached to basketball. What are you up to? What have you been doing? What can you plug? Floor is yours.
Man, you know what, man? I'm glad I still have my health, and I got some close friends with me. You know what I'm saying? My family. I'm doing working out kids. I should have gave Mateen some of my cards when I seen them, but I probably didn't have a moment. But yeah, working out the kids.
Personal training, baby.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I hope them kids know how lucky they are. Now, the kids might not know, but the parents know for sure.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah. I get a lot of referrals because of, oh, man, he can shoot. Okay. Yeah. Come on with it.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, we can't thank you enough for taking an hour with us here and chopping it up and reminiscing. I know, speaking for myself, it's been a pleasure. I was looking forward to this one. I was excited as soon as your name popped up, and I'm sure Mateen felt the same way.
No doubt. Appreciate that.
Ain't no question. And let me say this while he on here, because this is a message. First of all, I mean, I love you, man. You the best. I mean, thank you for making me who I was, because we was all chasing you. I wore number 12, you know what I mean? And come on, baby, you know what that is. But like these colleges, not just pointing out, you got to do a better job of taking care of the cats who laid the foundation, because we got to do a better job, man. You got a Final Four MVP. If he ever come back to a game, roll out the red carpet, he should be on the screen, national champion, Final Four MVP. All of that stuff should be out there. Show respect to the cats that laid the foundation at these universities. Universities, I'm speaking to you. We got to do a better job with that, respecting the people who laid the foundation.
Yes. And that's why I respect Izzo, because he had two ex-players on his bench, Mark Montgomery and Big Stevens.
Dwayne Stevens,
yeah. So Vegas don't have no ex-players.
Oh yeah.
And they didn't give my man Stacey the interim job. It's a lot of bad blood still, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Can't erase history though.
Exactly.
Can't do that.
It's in the books. It's in the books, baby.
100, baby.
Well, thank you again for coming on, man. It's been a real pleasure.
Man, my pleasure, fellas. You already know it.
Yes, sir. I
had more time.
Yeah.
I'm just talking shit. I'm about to get on the golf course.
Hey, look, you living that good life.
I want to send a special thanks to our guest, Anderson Hunt, 1990 MOP of the Final Four. Mateen, that was a fun one, dude.
It sure was, man. I just love how authentic he is. I mean, he's real as they come, and that's what we want here on our show. And then, like I said, man, he's one of my favorite ever. And I don't think he get his just due when you talk about some of the greats in college basketball. But come on, man, Final Four MVP. Nat went to what, 2 Final Fours and 2 national championships. You know what I mean? Won a national championship. So he definitely need to get his just due. But that was a fun interview, man. Shout out to Anderson Hunt, man, the legend Anderson Hunt. That was great.
You know, one of my favorite things, and I feel like all of our guests have been great about this, because I'm supposed to bring like the fan experience to it, right? Like you guys players, you guys always connect and have your own thing going. And I just sit here as a fan, you know, which is really fun for me, but I feel like an obligation to try to peel back the curtain. And all of our guests have done just a great job of like, no, this was what was going on behind the scenes. And what better team to try to go behind the scenes with than the 1990-1991 UNLV Runnin' Rebels. Like that was dope.
That's crazy, man. And he told some real stories. And people, you better tune in and listen to this one. This is a great one. Yep.
Well, as always, huge thanks to you for joining and co-hosting with me. You know, I love it. I have a ton of fun with it, so I can't thank you enough for co-hosting with me. Big thanks to our partners at 99. And this episode was produced by Truth Plus Media. To get more information, you can go to truthplusmedia.com. I'm Josh Barnett. We'll see you next time when we run it back.
Ow!